Today, I'm bringing up an interesting question that has been debated for many years, both within the powerlifting community and outside of it. And that is, should sumo be banned? And if you think about it, it doesn't make sense that a sumo lift, which uses different muscles and a different technique, leverages can let one lifter outperform another, even though it's practically a different exercise. This is one of the first things in powerlifting that doesn't make much sense and could lead us to think that sumo should be banned. But I would also say, or could we ban conventional, although if we stick to what powerlifting originally is, which is the expression of maximum strength. I believe that what best demonstrates this is the conventional deadlift. It's a less technical lift, which benefits less from having privileged levers. Whereas in sumo, we see lifters with very long arms, short legs, even very short people. And in lower weight classes, they lift the plates only 5 centimeters off the ground, while in a conventional deadlift, this is much harder. I think conventional deadlift is more of a pure strength lift, and the heavier categories are the ones that use it, whereas sumo is much more commonly used in lighter categories and women's categories. Because of the advantage it gives when you're a weaker, smaller lifter with less mass, and the advantage it gives to genetics with very privileged levers. Both lifts are allowed, and I think powerlifting federations should choose one. I don't see the point in having a world record set in one style and then another lifter comes along and breaks it with a different technique. I don't think it would be necessary to ban sumo, but rather that some powerlifting associations should make a choice. Here you do conventional deadlift, while others might choose sumo deadlift instead. It would even be interesting to have variety so that the competitor could decide which one to compete in. There's another solution which is also pretty good, and that's to separate the lifts. If that's done, new world record of 300 kilos deadlift in a category, I don't know, 70 something kilos. Should the sumo be considered with the sumo one? And what if another guy comes and does it? 280 conventional, that should also be a new world record, but in conventional. And I think that way everyone works too. We could all be happy. And I have another interesting idea about a possible solution. Let's allow both lifts, but let's limit the width at which you can place your feet. The stance is similar to the bench press. There's a maximum hand width, and you must place your fingers on the silver ring. Could something similar be done in the sumo deadlift? The shins could be touching the silver ring, or the foot would have to be under that ring, or the foot would have to be in front of that ring. There are many ways to make the lifter not spread their feet so wide. To do a super partial lift and get that excessive advantage in the lift to the point where it becomes something very partial, not so much a strength lift. We've seen sumos where the lifter practically has to pull their feet in when putting the bar down, or else they'd get caught by the plates. We've seen lifts that look more like a gymnastics split than a strength lift, where no more weight is really being added to that lift. It's more about spreading wider, like in the bench press, though there you have a limit to how wide you can go. Many of you may wonder, if you can lift more this way, why doesn't everyone do it? It could be, but in the end it's also a matter of comfort and the lifter's mobility. Maybe someone hurts their adductors or has even gotten injured. By spreading your legs wider, while with your legs together you're more compact, a lifter can choose how to lift. Of course, but I think it's the organization that should set some limits on the techniques that can be used, and how can you gain an advantage in lifts. Just like with excessive arching in the bench press or with the low bar squat when the bar is too low. And there are many more solutions to make the sport fairer. If you ask which I like most, I do have a preference. I would require lifting with either sumo or conventional technique, but let you choose your preference. Your hands should go outside, not inside your legs. Personally, I practice both movements, both sumo and conventional, and in fact, I lift almost the same in both. I have 250 in conventional and 260 in sumo. But I do like conventional a lot more because I consider it a greater expression of strength than the sumo deadlift. So, should it be banned? I'd like that if it were up to me. The main thing would be to regulate it, as we've mentioned, by setting a limit on how far you can spread your feet or any similar measure. What do you guys think? Which one do you think deserves more credit and which one do you like more? We're going to end the video here. That's all from Aries YT. See you in the next one.